Alfred's Alley. This is the oldest residential street that has been continuously lived on in the United States. That's a lot, but that's true. This is I-95. And honestly, this is where Philadelphia ended back in 1732, 36, whatever it was. Philadelphia has grown about a quarter of a mile, even more, built on top of the Delaware River. I don't know what you do with that knowledge, but you have it. Enjoy it. We're just coming down Alfred's Alley. Look at this. One of the only few cobblestone streets left in the city. People do drive cars down here. You see the flags hanging up. You see how the one guy's a British flag and these are American flags. So the odds are the person who lived in that house back in 1776 was a loyalist, and the people who lived in the Betsy Ross flag house, they were for the revolution. Very exciting. Oh, we're seeing it in action. Instagrammers doing the pictures, taking the pose. And by the way, how am I ruining in this picture? With the scooter and the big fat X-Men hoodie. Very exciting. Did I mention we're going on a scoot? And today, we are going to go down Arch Street. I know this is Alfred's Alley, but Arch Street's just a block that way. I figured we start here since, this is one of the few streets where America kind of started. Let's do it. Alfred's Alley. This is where Hitchbot, the robot that went traveling the world. This is the spot where Hitchbot died. This is 2nd Street. 2nd Street is known as Restaurant Row. If you see, I think this place, actually. This used to be a kitchen. They used to make kitchen shit in the 1920s. Pretty cool looking building. It's now condos. That's what we do with our stuff. There are still some restaurant buildings left at the beginning of 2nd Street next to the Ben Franklin Bridge. There is a bar stool place where you can get bar stools. You see there's some new and used restaurant equipment. Fantastic. What a magical place this is. This is Arch Street. This is the beginning. The road is closed. Not if you're on a scooter. Let's go. This is a very important street. Well, is it an important street? Well, to tourism, this is a very important street. This is where we say Betsy Ross lived. Why do I say we say? Because we don't really know 100% if this was Betsy Ross's house. By the way, check out this street. Bread Street. This is a Belgian block street. The ones with the little pebbles are cobblestones. Oh, they're adding on. And if you go all the way down to the end of this street and you make a left-hand turn, the bar you see will be Patty's Pub, the inspiration for the bar from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Oh, they're digging up the street. It's loud. It's noisy. This is the flag shop. And uh-oh, you stay here. All right. They got the Ukrainian flag up. Usually they have the biggest one of the big, I don't know, they have a big Betsy Ross flag. Fantastic. Speaking of Betsy Ross, this is Betsy Ross's house. If you go in here, Betsy Ross was an upholsterer. She upholstered things. She made bedclothes, bed skirts. They would, back in the 1770 whatevers, they didn't have the best heating systems. So what they would do is they would build curtains around their bed, and they were called bed clothing. And Betsy Ross made bed clothing for George Washington. How about that? Or bedclothes. Bedclothes, they call it. My grandmom still used to call it bedclothes. Go put your bedclothes away. And this is the grave of Betsy Ross. But when she died, that wasn't her last name. Her last name was Claypool. Elizabeth Grissom Claypool Ross. Wow, she got a lot of names. And that's the room where they say she was... somebody came up to her and said, yeah, you want to make the flag? We're not really 100% sure if she actually made the flag. She definitely helped design. We're gonna zoop on by here. I'll tell you something, y'all. That Howard Stern kissed my ass in hell. If anybody gets that, let me know. This is the, there we go, old time fountain. Look at this. Horses used to drink from here. And dogs used to drink from there. All right. Check out these buildings. This is the Arch Street Quaker Meeting House. This is the second largest Quaker church in the world. And if you go down here, this is... Oh, we're good. Okay. So this is Loxley Court. And if you go in here, this is oh, I don't know. This is definitely trespassy. Not really trespassy. But if you go in here, there's a house. Right, I think it's number two in this place. These are all houses from like the 1770s. And I think it's, number two. The guy who lived at this house was the janitor of Independence Hall. So he had a lot of keys. And one day Ben Franklin saw him, and he was like, "Yeah, cuz, can I borrow one of those keys for a minute? I want to go fly this kite." And we're not really sure where Ben Franklin flew the kite. There are 5 places that I know of that lay claim. There is one of the biggest historians in the city of Philadelphia is this guy Glenn. He works at Christ Church. Guy is a fountain of knowledge. And I asked him one day, and he said, "I have no idea." So if he don't know, I don't think anybody knows. This is Ben Franklin made of keys. Ben Franklin started the firefighter whole thing, like volunteer firefighters, the fire department, fire insurance. So kids from schools all across the city of Philadelphia donated keys to get melted down to make this big Ben Franklin statue. Back in the 70s, or the 80s, yeah, I guess in 1776 they built, 1976 they, well, look at this, I never noticed this. They used to have a Ben Franklin made of pennies, and they called him Penny Benny. Oh, this is also important. You see the back of the statue? Those were plaques that had every firefighter who worked for the city of Philadelphia who died in the line of duty. That was a big bronze plaque with all their names, and they melted that in the back of Ben Franklin. I'm sure there's some symbolic reasoning for it to be in the back. I guess to be I don't know, maybe the spine? I don't know. Who knows? Not me, but I'm going to keep talking like I do know. There's a Ben Franklin. Yeah. So this is the United States Mint. They're still not doing tours inside the mint. Yeah, you can't even when you go inside the mint, you can't videotape. They don't want you seeing how they make the coins, but they'll let you watch. I don't know. And what else? Go in the mint. If you're a big coin dork, I mean, I say that with all respect, they sell very rare coins inside there. This is a boost. So back in the day, if you had a horse, you would use this, and that would give you a boost to get on your horse. This is Christ Church Burial Ground. Started in 1719. Probably, 5 signers of the Declaration of Independence are in there. Ben Franklin is here at the corner. If you see, this is a brick wall. This is Flemish Bond. If you've been following the channel and you ever hear me talk about Flemish Bond, this is the wall that sparked my interest in Flemish Bond. Oh, okay, thanks. Like I give a shit. So this is Ben Franklin's grave. You stay right there. Don't you? Oh, you stay in my hands, screw. That's Ben Franklin's grave. Back just a few people over are the Powells, Samuel Powell and Elizabeth Powell. Samuel Powell was the mayor of Philadelphia during the whole Revolutionary War thing. That could be wrong. Again, don't be writing book reports off of what I say. Uh-oh. So Samuel Powell and Elizabeth Powell, they only lived a few blocks down that way, and they entertained the president. And on the Washingtons, George and Martha, celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary at their house. And Ben Franklin's daughter got the privilege to dance with George Washington during their 25th wedding anniversary. She wrote a letter to Ben Franklin saying, "Yo, Dad, guess what I did? I got to dance with the president." And that letter was preserved and saved, and you can actually see it on display at the Powell House. It's a few blocks. I don't know the exact street. You Google it. It's okay. You'll find. You can figure it out. You don't need me. Independence Hall. There you go. Right. We all know. Well, some of us know what happened there. I'm sure there's a few people who don't know. This is the Constitution Center. Nah, it's a museum. I guess that's how you could describe it. I don't know. I don't think it's very good. We'll go through here. This is Independence Hall Visitor Center. This is where you go if you're ever coming to Philadelphia. By the way, this area, I never check what's going on behind me. It's nowhere. If you watch my Kensington videos, first off, this part of the city of Philadelphia is run by the federal government. So there's park rangers, and just so you know, park rangers, they're cops. They can arrest you. Don't mouth off. Don't think it's like Yogi Bear. They will fuck you up. I've seen it. They won't mess you up though. But somebody was drinking and they said something. And I heard a Yogi Bear joke and they got punched. Not punched, they got arrested actually. All right, so we're going to go through here. Boy, that was a horrible story. So this is Independence Hall Visitor Center. This is where you go if you got to take a piss. When you go see the Liberty Bell, you got to come here. This is a public restroom. They have little movies. They have little movies that you can watch. I tell you about touristy places. You could, so this is where, right here, that's where you get your tickets to Independence Hall. All right, there's Ben Franklin. There's my friend, the Philly Fanatic. Yo, cuz. April wife. Let's F it, LFG. LFG, let's say that. And then they have all this stuff. You can play Ben Franklin. You come here, right? You learn about Ben Franklin and the printing press. And do this. That's fun, right? This is where they sell buses. If you want to buy the bus tours. I have a playlist. I used to do a podcast back when I started this channel. And there was a history tour. So you come here and cool off. It's in the summer, and it just tells you some spots that you might not know about. And then this little theater here is like a history of what happened across the street. Oh, it's open to the public. This is the best view of Independence Hall. Go up here. But if you ever come up here, it's sometimes it's not. This is actually the first time I've been up here since the pandemic. Just put this fucking thing here. Uh-oh. Yo, on top of the world. Isn't it the best view of Independence Hall?
Actually, I didn't even look up long enough to even know this was up here.
Yeah, this is never open. This is the first time I've been up here since the pandemic. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. The Pops. Whew. Oh my God, it's a beautiful day. Well, be safe, buddy. Yeah. Let's do it. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, I hope I got him. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's already getting skin cancer. That's good. It is. Oh, seasonal depression. Kiss my ass, right? Uh-oh, he wanted to be friends. And if you watch my Kensington videos, rule 1 is don't talk to anybody. I'll talk to anyone down here. Not for long. I don't want to be friends. Especially in the middle of the scoot. You know what? We're gonna go right down here. And listen, this is already 20 minutes. And I'm only on 5th Street. So Arch Street has another mile to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this up right about here. This is my buddy. There he is, Rocky Balboa, my favorite Kenzo. Oh, there he is. I don't want to bother who's working, but that's my buddy David Washington. Being funny, having fun. Have to come back and say hi to him. So yeah, I'll end it right here. Not across the street. You want to see something neat? I'll show you something neat. I don't know if I already done that yet. I think I did. By the way, this barricade, this is up because of St. Patrick's Day. That happened last Saturday. Way to move on, you said. All right, we're gonna go right here. This little property, where it looks like that's what we do a lot with our historic buildings. If we don't have it no more, we sort of build it. We don't build it up properly, but we sort of build it. So this is the house. It's called the President's House. George Washington and John Adams, when they were the president in the United States, this was the White House, if you could say. And this is the front door of the President's house. The house was donated to the presidents by Robert Morris, the financier of the American Revolution. He donated this house to George Washington and John Adams. And fun fact, technically 3 presidents lived in this house. George Washington lived here, and there's the foundation. George Washington lived in this house, John Adams lived in this house, and John Adams' son, who became president of the United States, John Quincy Adams, he lived in this house. They have a layout of what the house sort of looked like. You would come in through the front door, and this, I guess this was the dining room, or not the dining room, the living room. Living room actually became a word right down on this street. On what street is this? This is 6th Street. You go down across the street, there's a building called the Curtis Building. There was a magazine. I think it was called Ladies' Home and Journal, and the term living room was made in that building. So living room, whatever. So each little line is a way into a room. You get the gist, right? If you go back here, this shows you where, oh, look at these morons waiting in line for the Liberty Bell. You idiots. It's a bell with a crack. But if you go in here, this shows you where the slaves quarters. Right here, this is where the slaves lived. In Pennsylvania, slaves, it was illegal to have slaves. And if a slave lived in Pennsylvania for 6 months, they would be given their freedom. So these were Washington slaves who came up from Mount Vernon to Philadelphia. Hercules was his cook, and Oni Judge was one of his slaves. And if you see it, there's a whole lot of like TVs talking about the slavery that happened here. And one night, Oni Judge, these are her footprints, she snuck out of the house down this street to the Delaware River to her freedom. And once she escaped, Washington actually sent people looking for her. But yeah, so these are the slaves. And one thing they would do, so like let's say that, you know, if you lived here for 6 months and you got to be free, so what Washington would do, like on like the 5th month, he would send them to Jersey to go get the Jersey tomatoes, or I don't know, he would, you know, send them back to Mount Vernon for a minute so they could never actually get their freedom. So in that building, that's Independence Hall. That's where men declared people free, yet they owned human beings. I think that is ironic. People, I saw Alanis Morissette on Howard Stern, and she was saying that the actual song isn't that ironic. There isn't irony. It's just circumstance. So, and there it is. Oh, I guess that's. We'll do it over here. We'll end on Liberty Bell. I am, just so you know, I'm pretty sure I have vlogged more with the Liberty Bell more than any other YouTuber out there. I don't know what you do, but I'm pretty patriotic. How about that? Well, not really. The Liberty Bell was my therapist during the pandemic. You're allowed to go around the Liberty Bell. That you haven't been able to do that in a while. Well, God bless America. God bless the Liberty Bell. Look at the buds. God bless spring, because it's the first day of spring. And God bless you for watching this. And as my grandmom would say, go with Jesus.